We're going to revisit the order of operations since we've had some time now to work with fractions. So remember, the order of operations is PEMA or PEMDAS, whichever way you remember it. Just remember that multiplication and division are one step, addition and subtraction are one step. So in this one, using the order of operations, kind of hard to tell. This is supposed to be an exponent squared. So I've got some multiplication that's happening on the inside of parentheses, and of course parentheses have to happen first. So I'm going to multiply inside the parentheses, but before I do that, I'm actually going to do some simplification. My 3's will cancel, and my 2 and my 4 will cancel, and I end up with negative 1/2 squared minus 1/2. So negative 1/2 squared would be negative 1/2 times negative 1/2. So if I need to, I can think about it like this. Negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. 2 times 2 is 4. So now I have 1/4 minus 1/2. Obviously, to add or subtract, now I need a common denominator, so I didn't worry about it until I got to this step. I'm going to take this times 2 to get 4 and this times 2 to get 2. So my new question is 1/4 minus 2/4. And again, I will keep flip change. 1 plus negative 2 is negative 1, and so negative 1/4 is the answer. Again, we're going to use the order of operations here, so even though there's some addition happening, this is division, and division must happen first. So let's go ahead and change those mixed numbers into improper fractions. So this would be 9/2, and that's divided by 9/4. And remember, with division, we are actually multiplying by the reciprocal, so this is times 4/9. If you want, you can put that into parentheses just to remind yourself that that's what's happening first. Again, I like to simplify before I multiply, so my 9's will cancel and I'll get 1's. My 2 will reduce to 1 and my 4 will reduce to 2. So now I have 2/3 plus 1 times 2 is 2 over 1. So 2/3 plus 2, which of course is just going to be 2 and 2/3. If you need to, obviously I could have turned 2/3 into, 2 into 6/3, which would give me 8/3, but it was easier just to go straight from here to my final answer. Here's one for you to try on your own. So try the question, then press play to see how you did. There is some addition and subtraction, and also some multiplication, and we all know that multiplication should happen first. So I'm going to rewrite my 4, I'm going to rewrite my minus 1/6. The two items that will be multiplied, I need them to both be improper fractions, or fractions anyway. So 1 and 1/2 will turn into 3/2, and 2/3 obviously will remain 2/3. I need to multiply those before I do any addition or subtraction. So my 4 remains the same. My 3/2 times 2/3, watch what happens. The 2's reduce, the 3's reduce, which means I just have a lot of 1's. So this is 4 plus 1 minus 1/6. Well, now it's all addition subtraction from left to right. So 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 minus 1/6, I can either choose to turn 5 into a improper fraction with a denominator of 6. I'm going to choose to borrow, so I'm going to rewrite 5 as 4 and 6/6 because those are equivalent. And I'm going to subtract 1/6 from 6/6, which gives me 4 and 5/6. So 4 minus 0 and 6 minus 1 would give me the 5/6.